by the way?
What purpose?
To verify that it's the department's position that all the necessary prerequisites for bringing the action were met.
What?
Yes or no, Mr. Denton? And if no, just tell me
Are you
why.
calling her? Are you
Yes.
asking permission to call her?
I want to ask Ms. Britt. I want to call Ms. Britt as a witness.
All right. Well, Miss Britt, you've already been placed under oath. I'll do it again just so that it's clear on this record. If you raise your right hand, do you swear or affirm the testimony that you're about to provide will be the truth?
I do, sir. Britt, Department of Revenue Specialist Local 2.
Okay. Whatever your questions are, Mr. Dobbs, go for it.
Ms. Britt, can you assert or testify on behalf of the Department of Revenue that the Department of Revenue served the initial complaint within 120 days of its filing? The complaint and the summons within 120 days of its filing?
Your Honor, the department objects to that question. It's calls for a legal conclusion,
No,
not an issue of fact.
Sustain this question.
wait a minute.
Already taking judicial notice of the record, sir.
No,
And
wait a minute. Hold on. What we're not going to do, especially you two attorneys, is play this game. It is an issue of fact. Okay, hold on. Strike that first, and then I'll come back to it. Ms. Britt, do you have a copy of the docket in front of you for case number 1995-DR6110? Do you have a copy of the docket?
No, sir.
Can you all provide Ms. Britt a copy of the docket, either through however you all may serve her or give it to her, so we can get to the bottom of this?
Once again, the department would object. Ms. Britt is not a critical witness to testify to anything that appears on the docket.
Yes, she can. Yes, she can.
She's taken judicial notice of already, so it's already within the record. It's irrelevant.
What's the legal basis for that? What's the legal basis for that? What's the legal basis for her statement?
Mr. Doss, are you asking Ms. Britt to tell me what the record says?
Or
are you asking her for her legal opinion?
I didn't ask her for legal opinion. I didn't play. Let me play the word game, Mr. Den. My question was clear. I'm not speaking one of my foreign languages. I asked Ms. Britt, does she have a copy of the docket?
She said,
there's an official copy of the docket in the exhibits. Give Ms. Britt the exhibits. In the official docket, the case summary is in the exhibits. And she can look from there. It's stamped with the clerk's stamp. And by the way, whenever there's an issue of fact, there is a basis for me knowing. It's an issue of fact. The 120-day question is an issue of fact. You having to dismiss it is an issue of law. So now, can you please, through whatever means you all have for transferring information,
you carry the burden here, so why don't you display the record on your screen? Share the screen to your heart's content. If you'd like me to facilitate, I can try.
Oh, you don't have, okay, so let's go to page 84 of the docket would be exhibit, roll it back up, which is why I gave it to you all.
So
exhibit D, go to exhibit D. Go to exhibit D.
Are you not capable of sharing this on your screen?
I think we can, but it's a pretty large binder, so let's try it this way. I don't know if it will. So you see the respondent's supplemental authority, correct?
Yes, correct. We can all see that on the screen, I believe.
Is there a way for me to share this with her, or you can share her this with this PDF via email or whatever source that you all tend to use for sharing this?
We're all looking at the screen. Whatever you put on the screen,
that's fine.
You can ask her a question about it.
Ms. Britt, while I scan this in the screen, go through its phasing. Are you familiar with the case summary for case 1995 DR 6110? I don't hear.
I'm only familiar with the recent things that I can see on my side in my department as I am department employee.
Okay. Can you see page 70 of the 120 pages submitted that comes from Division YD, which is I guess titled Case Summary Case NO.95-DR-006110 Smallwood versus Doss.
If that's what you're showing on the screen, sir, then yes.
Do you have any reason to believe that it's not authentic?
I don't know what you want me
Do
to.
you believe it's a clear record of the clerk's docket for this case?
As far as I can tell, but again, this isn't my department.
The department would object. She's not the proper person to authenticate whatever these documents are.
I mean, I think it just seems redundant because I've already taken notice of the record. Mr. Doss, your recitation of the facts. I don't think that there's anything incorrect in what you're saying in terms of the delay in service. This is all something that I wrote about in the previous order. Yes, there were delays. There's a 120-day rule that requires service. Didn't happen on the second petition. Didn't happen on the third petition. I mean,
and it's your position that the 120-day rule does not apply to me?
No, it applied then, but you're bringing it up 2 decades later.
Is it your position, Mr. Denton, that subject matter jurisdiction cannot be challenged at any time?
No, my position is the link that you're failing to connect for me is why this is something that you're able to challenge under 12540.
It's a void order.
Okay.
And unless you have some case law, and not whatever you cited didn't make any sense, which I was kind of disappointed. I actually thought you were a little bit more competent than that. The case law that you cited does not have anything to do with the issue of subject matter jurisdiction in the 120-day rule.
Subject matter jurisdiction, I don't think was raised in the previous motion.
Of course it was. Of course it was. Of course it was. We're not going to do that. It was challenged back in 2013.
Again, are we reconsidering the prior order in the prior motion? Is it a new motion? Are we focusing on the driver's license?
No, what I want to focus on is the underlying order. Because from that, everything else stems. If the underlying order is no good, nothing you've done is any good. So, but anyway.
Did you have any other questions?
I have plenty of them. I wish you would quit interrupting me.
Your Honor, it's 5 o'clock. It's
hey, you said it for 4 o'clock, Mr. McCarthy. I don't know if you have to go eat or whatever you have to go do, but the bottom line is this.
I have to go visit my friend whose child is in the hospital with me, so I do have to leave.
Well, then I want you to do your job.
We're not much past 5, Mr. Doss. So if you
listen, wait a minute. What you can never do is use time as a basis for denying me due process. I know that for a fact.
If you can't complete your argument and
the argument,
I hear the same thing over and over in terms of what you're saying to me,
Mr. Denton. I wish you're a hearing officer, but for some reason you always find yourself in the middle of these hearings. Your job is to hear and rule on the facts.
And I've been listening for 45 minutes.
Hear, didn't say speak. Rule on the facts.
Move on.
Objection.
Move on.
I object to Mr. Denton interrupting my presentation. Mrs. Britt, do you see that stamp that's dated March first day of March in 2024? Do you see that stamp?
Ms. Britt, you're muted.
Yes, sir.